Hey, what's up everybody? Anton here from dropshiplifestyle.com. Today is Thursday, December 8th. You know what that means? Time for another episode of Dropship Weekly. We're gonna do the normal format this week. I'll go into the computer, share a bunch of really good information that was actually shared in our Facebook group and in our forum this week, also through emails, and then also gonna answer a bunch of questions that popped up as well. But first I want to take a minute to talk about niche selection, and this is actually based on a question that did come up in the Facebook group this week, and it was about private labeling. And right now, when I'm referring to private labeling, I'm not talking about selling on Amazon and doing FBA or anything, which, don't get me wrong, it's a great business model, but it's not something I do, so I don't have experience with it. But I'm going to talk about private labeling more in the sense of creating a brand that you would sell alongside products that you're already drop shipping. So for example, let's say I'm drop shipping remote controls. Obviously I wouldn't be, but if I was selling remote controls, I'm drop shipping them and I'm selling for 20 different companies. Basically what I'd be trying to do is find the best sellers, identify which ones I'm moving the most volume for, and then I would go ahead and create a brand of remote controls and call it whatever, Anton's Remote Controls, and then I would sell them on my drop shipping store along with the other products that I'm currently selling, right? Now, this is something that I previously had talked about, and it was an older video that actually used to be in the old Dropship Lifestyle members area. It kind of got outdated, so it's not moved over to 5.0. I will make a new private labeling series and I'll put it in the new members area to kind of dive deeper into this. But basically this week someone asked, has anyone ever private labeled products that are $400 or more? And the answer is yeah, 100%. And actually one of the reasons why I moved back from Southeast Asia to Austin in Texas, where I am right now, is for this exact reason. When you're drop shipping, right? The beauty of drop shipping, the reason it's Dropship Lifestyle, is because you can run this business from Chiang Mai, you can run this business from South America, you can run this business from Africa, you could be wherever you want in the world. Now, if you want to go the private labeling route and eventually get to the point where you're branding your own products, especially if you're importing them, you're warehousing them, you're doing that all yourself, it's a bigger commitment. Now, is it worth it? It depends what kind of lifestyle you want, right? If you're going to go the private label route and you're going to make your own products, you're going to brand your own products, typically, it's gonna take a lot more time. Obviously, the margins are better and you own the brand, so there is a benefit to it. Now, if you want a private label, there's a few different ways. Again, I'll make a video about this kind of more in detail, maybe a video series that I could put in the members area, but just know that this is how I recommend doing it. At first, the easiest way would be to go to the companies that you're already selling for and see if they actually offer private label programs. So that's kind of like the easy way in. If you don't want to go fully committed to actually having a warehouse, to storing products, it's possible that some of your current suppliers will private label their own products and ship them for you under your brand name. So it's one option to take, it's one route to go. It works, but it usually only works if you're selling something like super generic. So let me give you another example, right? Let's say I'm selling computer chairs and I have one supplier who I know has really good products and I really like the profit margins they're giving me and they're responsive, it's a great supplier. If I wanted to sell their products and scale them and they didn't have a brand name yet, like if no one knew who they were, right? If it was some guy in Brooklyn in a workshop making computer chairs, it doesn't matter if I sold them under his brand, right? So in that scenario, that's when I would try to work out the private label deal with that supplier, whereas I would be the company that puts my name on them and we would sell this new brand, our private label brand, on our dropshipping store for computer chairs, and we would also have our competitors sell this brand of computer chairs. Now that's the scenario where it makes sense to private label through an existing supplier. If you're working with, a huge supplier that people know, that they Google, that you're selling for already and you're moving lots of their products, in that scenario, it doesn't make sense to ask them, obviously, to put your own name on them because people know the products, they're searching from them, they're buying for them. But in the other scenario, it makes a lot of sense. The other option and the thing you'll probably want to do if you decide this is a more than full-time gig, you want to go full into e-commerce, you want to really scale this thing like we're going to start doing now here in Austin, that's when you would actually just identify those top-selling products on your website. You would try to look for things that, maybe could use improvement. Maybe they sell well, but there's common recurring themes like, oh, I wish it had this, or I wish it was in this color, or I wish it was a little bit bigger, or whatever the question is, right? When you find that scenario, that's when it makes sense to build your own brand and actually maybe go to China, not literally, but online, go to China and find companies that make similar products that can make some tweaks and modifications and put your own label on it. So I hope that clears up kind of the couple different ways that we have done private labeling in the past and how we're planning on doing it again moving forward in the future. And once again, if there's any specific questions on this, especially as it pertains to niche selection, question because, again, I didn't say this before, but not every niche is good for private labeling. Some you're better off not getting involved with, but some there's a ton of opportunities. So if you do have any specific questions on the whole process, definitely let me know in the comments below this video. That way, as I create the new content for the new members area, I can make it as relevant as possible to answer your specific questions. So with that being said, we're gonna go to the computer and we're gonna get into this week's episode of Dropship Weekly. All right, week 17, here we go. The first post that I want to share this week is from Pow. Hope I'm saying that right. But Pow says, I freaking love this community. Can't wait to meet you all at next year's retreat. And that's awesome. And I hope you're there. I know it's going to be a good one. We're still thinking maybe Central or South America. More details will be coming, obviously, in the coming months as we start planning. But I did want to let you know, Pow, and everyone else watching this, that we have had members of the community setting up local events. Obviously, they're not like the retreat. There's not hundreds of people together. It's not really structured talks. But there's really cool meetups happening all around the country and all around the world actually right now, where you can connect in person with other Dropship Lifestyle members. So if you want to create your own, if you want to see which ones are currently happening, all you have to do is go to the Facebook group, create an event, or just scroll through and do a search maybe for your city. But we have one coming up. It's actually January 7th, and this is hosted by a member, which again, I can't appreciate enough. I mean, thank you for doing this, but it's in Sydney. If you're in Australia, definitely going to want to go check that one out. This past week also, we had Ernest, who is one of the Dropship Lifestyle coaches. I've mentioned him a bunch of times on this show, and he actually has some videos on our YouTube channel now, but he hosted a meetup this week, one in New Jersey. Here's a shot from that. And then he actually did one in Manhattan also, which I'm really jealous. I wish I could have made it to that one, but really cool. Bunch of people getting together, New Jersey one night, New York the next, and really cool. One thing Ernest posted that I liked is basically an introduction to Greg. And he said, Greg went live 5 weeks ago with his store, and now it's making more money than his full-time job. Okay, so Greg, congratulations, great work. Greg actually just made a post in the Facebook group giving some of his tips for supplier approvals. I think that his current job, like he mentioned, definitely gave him some leverage because he knows how to talk to people. He knows how to communicate. So go to our Facebook group and look for Greg's post about how to actually, connect with suppliers and kind of get your communication skills down, right? So Greg, great job, and thanks for sharing your story and sharing advice, and congratulations. Next, I wanted to share this post from Darda, and this is actually a question. So great question. She said, seasonal summer products. Is anyone here in a niche like this? What's your experience? What do you do over the winter months when the products aren't really getting sales, right? And you'll see here, one of the comments by Pratik was perfect. So listen, I'm going to pick a couple different type of seasonal items, right? One, we'll pick outdoor furniture. Okay, outdoor furniture, and let's say your market's the United States. Obviously, you're going to get bigger sales in the spring. People are preparing for the summer. They want to replace their furniture. That's when they're going to buy. If it's something seasonal like, I don't know, Christmas tree stands, right? That's very different because that's one season. That's it. There's no opportunity. But Pratik's comment here for a niche like the outdoor furniture is perfect. He said, in my experience selling these kind of products, you'll have more demand in the regions where the climate is uniform throughout the year. So you'll have to focus on geo-targeting. And that's the perfect answer. And that's what you have to do. If you are in a niche that's seasonal in the sense that people use it in good climates, then yes, even towards the end of summer and going into winter, you're going to want to turn off your PLAs, focusing on, the Northeast states or basically any of the northern states that are cold and no one's thinking about this. And you're going to want to focus your bids all on those states where the weather is basically beautiful throughout the year. Now, overall, your sales still will drop. You'll see big dips, but that's the best way to spend your advertising dollars throughout your slow season. So great question, Darda, and great answer, Pratik. Thank you for sharing that. All right, and the next post we have is from Lucina, and Lucina said, right, so launched my new second store last Monday and got my third sale today. So her tip is to keep your live chat on because yes, live chat does convert into sales. And what I love is Lucina obviously learned a lot from the first store she launched, this new one, and after a week to get 3 sales, I mean, that's good for anyone. So congratulations, Lucina. Great work closing that live chat. And for anyone that's wondering, like, do I have to be on live chat all day? The answer is no. If you're not at your computer, there's an app for that. There's plenty of apps you can use that will just transfer them like as text messages basically to your phone. And if you don't want to do that, of course, once you start scaling, you can go ahead and outsource the live chat. But congratulations, Lucina. Next, we have a post from Derek, and I really like this. He said, when you get in the end zone, act like you've been there before. Really good quote, and congratulations on this sale. Very cool. It happened while he was sleeping, so not bad, right? $1,200 in sales as you're in bed. I'll take that any day. Congratulations, Derek. The next post I really wanted to share with you right now is from Jasik, and this is really good because Jasik's out in Chiang Mai now. He's in Thailand, and he said this is his sales in the last 2 days after making a bit of tweaks. Got 3 more sales. Not a huge margin, but things are getting better, and that's definitely the right attitude. You're closing sales, you know your site works, you know your advertising works, you know your tweaks are working. Now it's time to really just optimize those margins. Watch our videos on lead value optimization and just get that margin up and up and up. But congratulations on those 3 new sales. Definitely well earned with the tweaks you've been doing. Finally, I have to share this from Jesse. This is such a cool story. Jesse said, just finished my last final ever for college and got my first sale. It's been a great day. Thanks for the lessons, Michael. And Michael is one of the Dropship Lifestyle coaches. So Jesse's been working with him one-on-one through our members area. And boom, not a bad way to end college. Not a bad way to walk out of the last final. Congratulations, Jesse. And thank you to Michael for being an awesome coach and helping to get Jesse to this point. Next, I wanted to get into some questions, and the first one I'm going to take is from Kia, and this isn't, well, yeah, it's a question, but the way it's formatted, I'll just read it, and then I will respond, my thoughts on it. So Kia said, huge dilemma. So I posted in some Facebook groups for my second store, and I got hit with the most unpleasant surprise. Via live chat, a customer started asking me all of these questions that I had no answer for. He or she is basically calling us fake. They wanted the number to the CEO, wanted to know the salesperson of the brands they carry, why they couldn't answer questions. Basically, you know, Kia was trying to say, hey, I'll get back to you with more details. And this person was going on and on and on, asking a bunch of questions and borderline harassing her as she was doing live chat on her store. So here's the thing. Someone commented on this in the Facebook group and was like, oh, it's a troll, it's trolling. And the answer is, yeah, it probably is. But you have to be very, very careful when you're trying to share links to your store, whether that's on someone's blog, whether that's on someone's forum, whether that's on someone's Facebook community. I mentioned this in a previous Dropship Weekly video, I think, but seriously, like when you're trying to spread your message, right? If you go to someone's group, even if that's your perfect audience, and you just post a link to your website, if that community doesn't already know, like, respect you and trust you, you're going to have a bad time, and probably something like this is going to happen. Now, the good news is I highly doubt they're going to do anything. They're not going to complain about your store. They're not going to contact your suppliers. It's fine. They're just kind of doing this because they're upset that, this is my opinion, but I'm guessing they're upset that you went into their community and posted a link to your store. If I'm wrong, you can let me know if it was a different story behind that, but I'm assuming that's what happened because this is normally the type of reaction you would get. I'll find the video that I made about how to get like free traffic sources, and some of that does involve posting on forums and in groups, but you have to be very, very careful with the approach to it. So hopefully this all blew past. I just wanted to share my viewpoint on it in case anyone else saw this and was curious about, you know, how to kind of avoid a situation like this. And again, I'm sure nothing will come of it, but it's better to, you know, avoid those live chats from day one if you can, right? The next thing I want to point out this week is a post from Greg, and this is actually the same Greg from New York that's already making more money with his store than he is from his real job. He said, I'm certainly no dropship lifestyle expert, but I consider myself really good at reaching out to suppliers and other types of cold callings. So he, you know, he was saying he's been complimented on his phone etiquette and follow-up etiquette by nearly all his suppliers, and he said he's happy to help out any other dropship lifestyle members, which is amazing. So thank you, Greg. And if anyone wants help, go to the Facebook group. Greg also made a really solid post today with a bunch of tips for calling suppliers, so you're going to want to read through that as well. But one thing that I wanted to point out about this post is that he's getting congratulated basically and complimented by suppliers on his follow-up etiquette, meaning he's following up with them more and they're saying thank you for doing that. People, one of the biggest breaking points, right? One of the biggest failure points when starting a dropshipping store is that people are afraid to call suppliers and they're afraid to follow up because they don't want to annoy them, right? Remember, suppliers are in business because people are selling their products, and we're one of those people. So don't be afraid to follow up. If you do it the right way, they'll actually compliment you on it, okay? So don't be scared. You got to get past that fear if you want to get approved with those gold suppliers. So once again, Greg, thank you for sharing this and your other post. I'm sure it's going to help a lot of people. One more tip from this week. This is from Laura. She posted this, and I'm going to link to this app below this video. It's a free Shopify app, and it does something that we all hate to do, which is resize images to fit our store. So I'm going to, again, post a link to it. It's an awesome awesome app. It does exactly what you would want. It's going to save you hours and hours and hours, especially if you have thousands of SKUs. So I'm going to post a link to this app below. Really good tip from this week, though. Next, we have this post from Alex, and it's a chart from a recent article published by BI Intelligence, and he's saying maybe it can help with niche selection, and it's showing like which niches, basically, which product sectors are trending upwards, going from kind of that more traditional sales channels to digital. And as you can see here, it's showing media, sporting, and hobby goods are trending up. And what's funny is, I don't know when this chart's from, but I'm pretty sure I used this in a video that I had in our old members area. It's a little outdated now. Not this chart, but the video I did is a little outdated, so I'm making a new version. But that's the one where I really talked about expanding niche selection and using hobbies and passions as ways to basically get product ideas. That's why you'll see in our members area too, I link to like thousands of different hobby ideas, because from this chart, this is like what sparked that whole kind of push towards that piece of content I created. And also, if you want to go back to our Chiang Mai retreat video, you could watch a video from Brandon Nolte, and he's talking about content marketing for e-commerce and how you can really tap into really different like hobbies and different passions with your content marketing, and how that could play so well into your traffic strategy. So I'll link to that content marketing video as well. But Alex, great share, and I do think this will help a lot of people when it comes to niche selection. A couple more things I'm going to post up here, different tips from this week. The first one is just a quick question from Job, and he asked if anyone tried private labeling in their own niche range from $500 to $6,000 products. I hope I answered that question back in the beginning of this video in the intro. That's kind of what I was trying to address. So if you missed that, go back to the beginning. You'll get the answer there. And I also want to let you guys know, if you go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/dropshiplifestyle, we have a brand new video there that was created by Michael Coughlin, one of the Dropship Lifestyle coaches, about how to narrow down your niche idea. Again, it's free. It's on our YouTube channel, so make sure you go there, youtube.com/dropshiplifestyle. Last thing I'm going to mention, guys, for this week is that I am doing a webinar. Today is obviously Thursday. Tomorrow, December 8th at 3 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm doing a webinar. I'm calling it Niche Selection Live. I'm going to basically get on Google while I do a screen share. You're going to watch me research a bunch of different niches. You're going to ask me questions. I'm going to teach tons of different information and, answer your questions. So if you want to be part of that, definitely register. You can click the button on the screen if you're on YouTube. If you're on Facebook, I will link to this webinar below this video. With that being said, guys, if you got value from this video, please do like it, give it a thumbs up, comment, share it. Keep the message going, keep spreading this. Because again, the reason I can make the show every week is because of the content that is coming from our communities. So thank you all once again for contributing. Thank you for making Dropship Lifestyle what it is. I had a message about it on Thanksgiving, but I really do appreciate it. That's why we're here, because of the user experience, I guess, and the community experience that comes together with all of us. So ask me questions. I'm here to answer them, and definitely so on this webinar, live for 30 minutes, answer all of your questions, plus 60 minutes of training. It's dropshiplifestyle.com/webinar. So I'll see you there. Thank you, everybody.